and welcome to the Nutrition by Samantha podcast. I'm your host, Samantha, nutritionist who is on a mission to cut through the nutrition confusion and help you become the healthiest version of you. In this podcast, you'll find expert advice on all things binge and emotional eating, sustainable fat loss, sports nutrition, and all things in between. I hope you leave each episode inspired and empowered to make smarter eating choices. Now, let's get into the episode. Hello, welcome back to another episode. Thank you so much for tuning in for another week of the episode. In this episode, we are talking about the differences I see in clients, that the difference between the ones that struggle and the ones that lose weight with ease, because there is a difference, and I'm usually able to tell what it's going to be like for them in that first consultation. I can tell. But first, I wanted to talk about my recommendation for the week. It's not a product. It's not something you go in, well, you do purchase it. I'll just get into it. It is mushrooms. So the reason why mushrooms are on my food rec list is because I've had a couple of new clients vitamin D deficient. Now, this is really interesting. So when you put your mushrooms in the sun, gill side up, they absorb the sunlight and it converts into vitamin D in the mushrooms. So when you consume the mushrooms, you are able to get your daily needs of vitamin D through mushrooms. Isn't that interesting? So if you are one that, I don't know, works full time, doesn't really get in the sun, likes to cover up a bit, and you are struggling to get your vitamin D up, purchase mushrooms, pop them in the sun, gill side up for about 15 minutes is really all you need, and then eat them, and you will get your daily needs of vitamin D. Isn't that interesting? I think it's very fascinating. It's something I learned about a couple of years ago, but yeah, so vitamin D is so important, and too many people are deficient and not taking supplements or just ignoring their deficiency. It's so important for your mental health, so important for being able to absorb nutrients, and also for bone strength as well. There's just so many benefits of vitamin D. So if you are deficient, take your supplements now. Go, get up, pause this, go get your supplements, get some water, take your supplements, come back, press play. You done that? Good. Okay. So that is my recommendation for the week. Now, did you watch the Superbowl performance by Rihanna on Monday? How amazing was she? I was watching it with my husband and his dad, and it's so funny. I was trying to record the take a video of the performance to post to my personal Instagram account, and in the background they're talking about, is she pregnant? Is she not pregnant? Oh my god, I think she's pregnant again. And I'm like, I can't post this now because they're talking about pregnancy in the background and that's so inappropriate. Anyway, I'm listening to them and I'm like, oh my god, just leave her alone. She just had a baby. Just stop talking about it. And I was getting not annoyed by it. I just thought it was funny because everyone was always talking about her pregnancy and if she is pregnant again or not. Turns out she is, but she absolutely killed the performance. But I was just wondering, did everyone else, think it when they first saw it? Because when I first saw it, I didn't even notice the bump. I don't know if I'm just oblivious or I'm just not judging how she looks at all. I didn't even notice it until I heard them saying, oh, is she pregnant? And then I noticed. I'm like, oh, she kind of does have a bump, I guess. But then I just forgot about it, and then I'm like, oh, she was pregnant. Anyway, it was so funny how everyone's guessing, and I've seen all these TikToks about people saying, can't a woman just have a baby without everyone judging her body and blah, 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 blah. And then turns out she actually was pregnant in the end, and we're like, okay, maybe they were right. But still, I thought it was pretty funny. All right, let's get into today's topic of the differences I see in clients between the ones that struggle and the ones that lose weight with ease. The one difference I see, and this is definitely, I see it in the first consultation, and it's when they're starting desperate. So desperate, they say to me, if this doesn't work, I'm going to go to weight loss surgery. So really putting all their eggs in one basket, and this is the last straw for them. And usually they've either started by doing little shitty diets, and then they lose weight, gain it back, lose weight, gain it back, and they're not actually putting the time into learning how to change their lifestyle and change their habits. And if that was you, like, you know, you're that person that were like, if this doesn't work, I'm going to weight loss surgery, totally get it, because it's hard to lose weight. And I do find people only really start their weight loss journey, not only, a lot of the time start their weight loss journey when they're at their last straw, they're at their wit's end, they cannot take this anymore, and like this is their last hope. But when they start this, like from this state, it's very hard to listen, take your time, and know that, you know, this is going to be a long process and that it will happen. You've just got to take your time, and it will just eventually slowly start chipping away at the number you see on the scales. And I'm just going to say this blunt, and maybe it's a reality check, maybe you might be offended by it at the same time, but if you have gained weight over a period of time, you went years, right? Years of not focusing on your health or exercise. I understand sometimes things happen, like if you go through a really bad depression, I understand how that can affect your quality of eating, and how when you are in that state, you can't even, like, your mindset isn't about trying to be healthy. You're literally just trying to survive and get through each day. And I understand that, and it's a really tough place to be in. But I also find some people just go through years of just not caring about their health or what they're eating or their exercise, whether that is just because they don't care or they never had the knowledge to be able to make better choices throughout their life. Really depends. But then all of a sudden, their mindset has changed, and all of a sudden, right now and right this second, they want to lose weight, like right now, and they want to lose it all ASAP. And they start in this state where they're just like, their mindset's switched, but they want it to happen really quickly. And when things don't happen quickly, they get frustrated, annoyed, and they try silly little things in their diet to help them see results faster. And I see this sometimes, not very often, but sometimes, where I will get to a follow-up consultation and a client's weight went slightly up. Not by much at all. It could be from, hormones, if you have your period, having a more high carb or high salt meal, things like that. And they freak out when the weight goes up slightly. And then they do silly things like cutting carbohydrates out of their diet or exercising a ridiculous amount in one day because the weight went up. When if they were in a state where they were just, focusing on changing their habits and just their lifestyle in general, they would know that weight fluctuations are going to happen, and it's just a part of the weight loss journey. I do believe focusing on the scale number is a good way to, track progress, but I don't think that is the only thing we should be looking at. What we really need to be focusing on is changing habits over time. So that when you go out for dinner or go out for a meal and you enjoy yourself, you're being mindful. Your weight might go up the next day, or something might happen the next day with your weight because you've gone out, and you understand that that is going to come down eventually. But when you're in this state of, oh my gosh, I have to lose weight, and oh my gosh, I'm going out for dinner, oh my weight's gone up. Okay, next day I'm going to go skip breakfast and lunch and I'm just going to eat dinner. That doesn't help anyone. Like, you get to dinner, you're starving, you're going to binge and leave yourself worse off. And this franticness that I see throughout someone's journey, I see in that first consultation too. So when, they're like, I have to lose weight right now, otherwise I'm going to get weight loss surgery, or I don't care what I have to do as long as I'm losing weight, I'll do anything. And they're not really caring about like the lifestyle change that needs to occur, like that permanent lifestyle change. They don't care about building healthy habits. They just want to see that weight come off really damn quickly. And that's not a really good place to start, because yes, you can lose weight really quickly if you wanted to, but it's really about just lifestyle changes that is going to make this a permanent change for you. It's not just about get that weight down and then, and then you'll be happy, because if you're not learning all these habits, how long is this going to last for? Not very long, right? And that's why you always hear of people struggling to maintain their weight loss. The second thing I see, and this is more so throughout the health journey, is whether clients victimize themselves or not. So what I mean by that is when they are going really well on their health journey, and then they're like, oh, I've got this event coming up, or oh, I'm going away, and my eating's not going to be good because I'm going away, and oh, why does this always happen? I have a really good phase, and then this happens, and now I'm going back to square one, and they really victimize themselves, and they're not able to reflect on how they can improve for next time. They're just like, oh, this happened and that happened, so now I'm not able to lose weight. So for example, the clients that do really well are the ones that are like, okay, I've got a wedding, for example, on this weekend. I'll eat before I go. I'll make as best choice as I can when I get there and just move on the next day. Or they'll be like, oh, I'm going on holidays. Wherever I can, I'm going to make my meals at the hotel or the Airbnb or whatever it is, and when I'm out for dinner, I'm just going to make the best choice possible. Whereas other clients will be like, oh, I'm just going to be eating like shit. It's going to be so hard to eat well. How am I going to do this? Blah, 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 blah. And they've already set themselves in that mindset that they're going to fail because they're like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, like victimizing themselves and, being like, poor me. I'm not going to be able to eat well because I'm going away and I'm never going to get the results that I want. And just staying in that victim mindset. Whereas if they are able to take control of their eating and, hold themselves accountable to their goals as well. So being like, okay, I'm going away, probably not going to see the results that I'm after because I'm going on a holiday. But if I'm able to make the best choice possible wherever I can, I'm able to make some meals at the Airbnb wherever I can, or I'm going to take my snacks with me wherever I can, they're going to be able to either maintain their weight or continue to lose weight because they are in that mindset of, I'm just going to do the best possible choices I can wherever I can, rather than, poor me, I'm going to eat like shit. Oh, I have a holiday to go on. What am I going to do? Do you get the difference I'm trying to make there? They're taking control rather than just victimizing themselves and doing the poor me, why me mental state. And I always try to tell clients, when you're going on holidays, do not expect to lose weight, but you can always try and make the best choice you can in that time. For example, if you're going to, what was the client I had? Was going to a theme park. I'm like, I already know that the theme parks don't have good choices because I had another client that went at the start, was it last year? I can't remember when they went. And they told me that at the theme parks, there were no healthy options. So I let this client know there's going to be not many healthy options at this place. So expect that you're not going to make a good choice and move on with your day. Not everywhere, there's not going to be every single place you go that is going to, give you the best options. Sometimes there are no good options and you just got to deal with that and move on, right? But if you are in that mindset of, oh, I'm not going to make a good choice, oh, it's just going to be such a hard holiday, I'm not going to be able to make the best choices possible wherever I go, what's the point, I'm just going to gain weight, then you're not giving yourself the best opportunity to do the best you can. Whereas if you know that there's going to be some places you can't make the best choices and there's going to be some places you are, and you just do the best you can, you're going to be okay. So my next tip was to not victimize yourself and be able to just think, okay, where can I make the best choices? I'll do what I can and not stress out about it. The next difference I see is when someone is not able to reflect on what went wrong or what happened. So, for example, you're on your way home from work and you get takeaway on the way home from work because you're hungry. And then you think about it, why did I do it? And you're like, oh, I don't know why I did it. I just don't know what I was thinking. I just did it. And, oh, why can't I just do this? And why can't I just do that? And they're just so frantic and they're not able to actually reflect on what happened. Whereas some people are also like, okay, I got takeaway on the way home. Why did I do this? Well, I didn't have my afternoon snack. I was absolutely ravenous on the way home from work. So I couldn't make the best decision and I got takeaway on the way home. Or they're like, well, during the day, my boss pissed me off and I had to stay back and I was annoyed and I was angry and I was emotional about it. So I got takeaway on the way home to make me feel better. Okay, then it was an emotional eating thing that happened and that's why you did that. If you aren't able to reflect on why you did certain things, how are you going to improve? How are you going to make better choices next time if you aren't able to reflect on why things didn't turn out the right way previously? So this is even, going out for dinners and you're overeating and you feel absolutely sick, full, and even the next day you still don't feel well. And you aren't able to think about, okay, why did I eat so much in that moment? Was it because, you're carried away in conversation and you weren't able to be focused on your meal? That's fair enough when that happens. Or did you starve yourself during the day because you knew you were going out for dinner that night? What happened? Why did you do that? If you aren't able to reflect on it, and you're just like, I don't know why I did that. It just tasted so good and that's just why I kept on eating, or you just don't know why you did certain things, you're never going to improve. You're never going to make better choices next time. So you really need to sit down and also get out of that victim mindset of I don't know, and actually reflect on your choices so you can make better ones next time. Hey, this is a super quick interruption to tell you about my new program, the NBS Method. After working one-on-one with over 400 people on their weight loss journey, I have developed my own unique formula and method to help clients get from restriction, binge and emotional eating, self-sabotaging behavior, and having no idea what actually works for weight loss to feeling in control, confident, knowing how to deal with their triggers, becoming a more mindful eater, knowing how to eat for fat loss, and finally seeing the weight loss results that they're after. This 5-month nutrition coaching program will show you how to lose weight in a sustainable way, stop overeating, reduce binge and emotional eating, and finally feeling in control over your eating rather than food having control over you. Within the first few weeks, you'll start to feel lighter, healthier, more confident, and energized. You'll be in control over how much you're eating, you'll understand your triggers for emotional and binge eating, and you've learned the necessary steps to maintain your new healthy lifestyle. I'm so confident that you will gain so much value out of this program, and by the end of the 5 months, you will know exactly what you need to do moving forward to continue to see the results you're after or maintain your weight loss results. If this is exactly what you need right now, head to the link in the show notes to book your no obligation phone call to see if it's the right fit for you. Okay, let's get back into the episode. So an example I have is a client I had this week. She got into a car accident and she was very stressed out because of, the financial burden that puts on you as to not knowing how much you're going to get for your car or what's going to happen. You have to purchase a new car. And so for 2 weeks where everything was up in the air, where she doesn't know what her, financial situation was going to be like, she was stressed to the max, of course. And she said during this time, she goes, the thought of making food, it just wasn't even on my mind. I could not cope with thinking about food at the same time of this financial stress. And she said, but what I was able to do was whenever I was eating, I was still being mindful of how much I was eating, but the food I was eating, it wasn't on plan. I wasn't being conscious of, if it was balanced or not. I was just eating to just get through the day, but I was still being mindful of how much I was having. And I thought that was really great because although she went through such a stressful few weeks where she wasn't able to focus on her nutrition just because of the stress, this type of stress obviously doesn't happen a lot for most people, where, you don't know about whether you're going to be, what, this massive expense is going to look like for this person. But she said that, she reflected on the last 2 weeks. She realized that, okay, I was just in no state to even think about food. And she is one that has been dealing with emotional stress and emotional eating. She's been dealing with emotional eating since we started, and she has been doing so well with it. So well. She is able to redirect her emotions to other things instead of food. She's doing amazing. And it was just these past 2 weeks where everything was up in the air in regards to her financial situation with the car that she was just unable to do it. And she was able to reflect and see, okay, I was not in no state, and I don't think there was anything that was going to change that state I was in to be able to focus on still eating well, but I was still able to be mindful. Whereas if she was in the mindset of, I've got this financial stress. Oh, don't even worry about my food. I'm just going to eat whatever and how much I want and not even going to focus on it. And gets to our consultation and then you're like, oh, I don't know what happened. I just didn't want to think about it. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do that. And be really stressed about it. She's probably going to leave herself worse off in regards to her weight loss journey, because even though she wasn't focusing on the quality of her food, but she was mindful, she still dropped weight. She still dropped weight over the past 2 weeks, which is absolutely amazing because she didn't victimize herself to her situation. She did the best that she could, and she was able to reflect on why, she wasn't able to focus on, the quality of her food, but she was able to focus on other things rather than just being like, I don't know why I did this. So last night I had a client and she's been consistently losing weight for the past probably 6-ish months. And she said to me, she goes, I'm in no rush to lose weight. I'm in no rush to lose weight. I know I need to lose weight and she knows that, but she's much rather focused on just taking her time and just really implementing positive, healthy lifestyle behavior change rather than, just focusing solely on the weight. And honestly, for a lot of my clients, it's not about the number on the scale. They like when they see the number come down. Obviously, everyone does. But they're more focused on that behavior change. So with this client, her weight came down over the last fortnight. But when I spoke to her, she said her eating wasn't the best over the last 2 weeks because she had a lot of events on. So in her mind, even though she lost weight, she was still thinking, okay, I didn't have the best eating habits over the past 2 weeks because she had a lot of events on and meals out where she had to go out for meals 3 days in a row, and that's something she doesn't do very often. And with her mindset, I love that even though she had lost weight, that she was still like, okay, I didn't do the best, but I did do what I could do with every situation I was in. And that is just such a good mindset to be in, where you're not that focused on the weight, but you are noticing when, your eating habits aren't the best, whether it is because of under eating or overeating or more meals out. You notice that these habits, are creeping in, or, it's just, you just had a couple of weeks where there was just more events on than usual, and you're not focused on that scale number and just focusing on those lifestyle changes and habits that you're trying to build. Because this client and many of my clients are like this, where they focus more on just the behaviors rather than the weight, they are going to see success long term. They are going to do so well, and they are honestly going to have a permanent change in their lifestyle, the way they look in the mirror, their health, their mental health, their confidence. Everything is going to change for them because they are so focused on building these habits rather than just focusing on what can I do to get the weight down. I hope you see the difference there, because it is a huge, huge difference. Another example of something similar is a client I had, would have been last week. She was going from shopping weekly for her groceries to seeing how she would go shopping twice a week for groceries. And it didn't really work out. She found that, she had to fight off temptations to buy extra things. She also noticed that she spent more money on her groceries throughout the week because she was going more times. So it just didn't work out, but it was really good for her to just trial and see how it would go and know for next time. So she's able to reflect, okay, how is this actually going for the week? Is this better off for me and my family? Or am I better off, sticking to that once a week and going once a week? She was able to reflect on that and be like, what is the best option, and make that choice from there. Whereas if you are the type of person like, I like going multiple times a week, and that way I can make the decisions each day about what I feel like, but then you notice you're buying extra things. But then you are buying extra things and you're not even really noticing that you're spending more money, buying extra snacks, and you're doing all these things, and you're not actually able to reflect on, is this better serving you or not? It really is about reflection and thinking about, where can you make improvements? Is this going to be a better option for yourself or not? Because overall that makes it a whole lot easier also with maintaining weight, seeing permanent change, and overall changing your lifestyle too. So if you're listening to this and you think, man, I need to change my lifestyle, I need to stop stressing about exactly what the number on the scales say and just focus on these habits because the scales will take care of themselves and you don't know where to start, send me a DM on Instagram, nutrition_by_Samantha, and we can have a chat about how we can work together. Stop trying to go around in circles and figuring out, things on your own, and just making a whole lot more stressful for yourself too. Let me help you work on these behaviors and these positive changes in your lifestyle so that you can have the permanent success that a lot of my clients have, because it is so available to you and it is so, in your reach to get as well. Okay. A lot of the time people think that they're special and they're the only one that can't lose weight or can't change habits. Answer is, you're not special. You just need someone to help you and point you in the right direction, and I can help you do that. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. It was a bit of a, tangent and a rant, but I really hope you got something out of it. So if anything, if you haven't started your weight loss journey yet and it's on your to-do list and you do want to start, don't wait until you are at your wit's end and you are completely desperate. Do not start in this state. It makes it so much harder. Number 2, don't victimize yourself to every situation you're in. Reflect on it, see where you can improve for next time. And if you did make the best choice that you could, but it still wasn't healthy, but it was the best choice available to you, so what? Do the best you can in each situation you're in. You can't expect much more of yourself. Number 3, make sure you are just learning about a healthy lifestyle and how to build habits that are going to last, rather than just focusing on the scale number. Make a huge difference overall. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions, send me a DM, send me an email. Would love to help you. Otherwise, I hope you all have a lovely week and I shall chat to you next week. Bye.